late.
Yeah, it's not
Which is
too bad. I
surprising.
mean, considering it was like a Steam crash for everyone.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have them load
All
and
right,
then we're
let's
gonna be
try
all
this
ready.
again.
Yeah,
All
exactly. Oh,
right,
now
everyone is ready. We can actually start this now.
this
Oh
is
man.
incredible.
Yeah.
And now let's see. So, once again, we have CUD versus IMF here. The Improbable Mission Force versus I don't know what CUD stands for.
No, indeed.
Right out of the
Something with
gate.
Cambridge, we're guessing.
Yeah, exactly. And right out of the gate, CUD actually bans out the Nature's Prophet. How do you feel about that first ban?
Well, the thing I really like about 6.79, which was completely different before, is just the first stage ban. Before we
Yeah,
had a pool of maybe 6 or 7 heroes that were always banned, but now there's so much versatility in these first
yeah,
4 bans.
definitely. We also see the OD coming out as a ban from CUD,
Yeah,
which I think is a pretty good ban. OD is
yeah.
always annoying
Um,
to face off against.
yeah, as a drafter, I can say I always ban OD.
Yeah, I understand why.
Yeah, and Lich is actually looking at the most pro games right now. Lich is usually banned, but this
Oh,
this time he actually gets through,
oh, that's
and
pretty
he
interesting
is
actually.
yeah he's really strong now in 6.79 after the experience buff.
Yeah, definitely. He's great support. Pretty good offensive support actually, with some defensive qualities as well, which is
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
The frost armor now also working on ranged heroes. So
yeah,
if a ranged hero attacks someone with the frost armor, it still affects them, which
that's a
makes him
very
just
good
really
change.
strong in general. He can even be offlane, but usually people run him as a support.
Yeah, I get that. He's a very good babysitter. And with the now though the sacrifice doesn't exactly work the same way, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, how sacrifice works right now is that when you sacrifice a creep, instead of just getting mana, everyone in the experience AoE gets XP from the creep, sharing it. But that does include opponents, so you have to actually sacrifice out of the opponent's XP range.
Exactly. That's pretty interesting change to that spell actually, and works pretty
Yeah,
well with the other changes to, for example, neutral creeps and their
yeah,
experience. So that's pretty interesting. We also see
yeah.
that Improbable Mission Force actually ban out Elder Titan and Dark Seer. I think Elder Titan is a pretty. I mean, we've seen a lot of Elder Titan in the pro games as of late, actually, making a big change. So I think that's a pretty decent ban out, from my opinion at least.
Yeah, indeed. Elder Titan also high ban material. Gets banned almost every game. I am a little more reluctant to see Darkseer banned, though. He's not that popular of a pick or ban really nowadays. His vacuum got even more nerfed in 79. So I could have substituted that for maybe the Lich instead, but it's not really my call. I'm not familiar with the teams either. Like we see teams like Navi, Funnick is excellent on the Darkseer, so they pick him quite a bit. It really depends on the team.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I mean, that ultimate is really a team fight changer, but if you can't utilize it correctly, he's really kind of a waste of space, so to
Yeah,
speak.
exactly. And I like this from CUD banning out the Naga. They already have their 2 supports, and Naga is one of the strongest, if not the strongest support in the game right now. Together, I would say together with Visage and maybe
Yeah,
the Lich.
I agree with
Uh,
that.
and the Storm, of course, works wonders together with the Lifestealer, making
The
it's
Nike's
a
bomb,
really strong
definitely.
combo. Yeah. And the Lifestealer also really strong, but they have the Bane to counter him. So if used correctly, Bane is pretty works really well against Lifestealer.
Yeah, I mean, the grip really works through rage as well, at least immobilizing him and basically neutralizing him if he gets off his ultimate and is allowed to stick to it, that is.
Yeah, exactly. And then when the rage has run out, he can what's the spell called? I don't remember, but he can
Brain
reduce
Sample
his
Nightmare
damage.
Enfeeble.
Enfeeble, thank you. He can enfeeble the Lifestealer, reducing his damage. And looking at this, I'm usually reluctant to first picking Rubik. But
Yeah,
looking at the lineup from CUD, I can say it was a wonderful pick because they have so many good spells to seal,
yeah,
and then combining that with the puck,
yeah.
really strong team fight from IMF.
I really like the Puck pickup. I think he could actually do wonders against the Bane also, since he's a very mobile hero, especially if he picks up a Blink Dagger. He can initiate, pops his ulti or Waning Rift to silence the Bane, and actually kind of lock him down so he can't lock down Lifestealer. I think that's a pretty good counter pick.
Yeah, and Puck, his ult is really strong against the lineup from CUD because it can interrupt both Black Hole and the Bane ultimate.
Yeah, agreed. Now Sand King coming out from the Improbably Mission Force, so they're really going kind of. They have two pretty good ultimates now from both Puck and Sand King. A bit more, not global, but a bit more team fight oriented ultimates.
Yeah, indeed. I'm not really sure I agree with the Enigma pick though. I mean,
No,
they have seen the Puck and the Rubik, which are both really strong against Enigma. So he has to hit both of those heroes with the Black Hole if he wants to actually run it the full point of it. And now Sand King on top of that, it can also interrupt Black Hole.
It's a
So he
long
pretty
range
much
stun.
he pretty much must have a BKB to be able to run that Black Hole.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Bane. Both Bane and Enigma are in dire need of actually having BKBs so that they can utilize their ultimates in a proper way. So that's gonna take. Enigma gets good farm in the woods, but for Bane, if he's gonna be a babysitter, that takes a whole lot more for him, and it's gonna take a long time for him to get that.
Yeah, and it seems, looking at the draft in CUD, it seems that their Lich is actually going to be run offlane, which I'm not sure. I don't really like Lich being run offlane. I think you need a hero with more what's the
Survivability
word I'm
or
looking
mobility?
for? No, just more effect on the team fights and such. Like, he has an ult, but after that he's pretty much useless in team fights.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm thinking more something like a Clockwork or something like that. And speaking of offlaners, I would really like to see a Bounty Hunter coming out from IMF now, because after the change with the neutrals, Bounty Hunter can get XP just from being in the jungle
Yeah,
with Enigma, and he can actually annoy the Enigma really much while getting XP,
yeah,
and I really like that.
I think so too. That's a good pickup, I'd say. We'll see though if would you then want to see IMF running a tri lane with the Rubik Puck, no, Rubik Sand King and Lifestealer on safe lane?
Yeah, as it looks right now, that should be. They could also run an aggressive tri lane if they would want to, and I think that would actually be pretty effective. It depends a bit on the offlaner that CUD chooses, but Rubik Lifestealer is one of those carries that's actually really strong in aggressive tri lanes.
Yeah.
And since CUD is running a jungler, that means it would be a tri lane versus dual lane,
Yeah.
and that's really strong.
What we do see now though from CUD, exactly what you said. Bounty Hunter would be a good pickup because he could stand in the jungle and leech the experience from Enigma. They actually ban out the Bounty Hunter, so that's a pretty good ban out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted from them. That's really good choice. Now, from IMF, if they choose to run an aggressive tri lane, they could pick just a safe farmer right now to run his solo safe lane, or they could go for the offlane hero. There is still heroes like Clockwork in the pool, so we will see what they go for.
They do also have Puck, who could work as an offlaner. He's not the strongest
Yes.
offlaner, but he still works. He has that mobility with the Illusory Orb.
Yes, indeed. I prefer a mid, but I have seen teams like Speed Gaming running him in the offlane. So it does work.
But I agree with you. I think he's a stronger mid hero than he is an offlaner.
Yeah, though the TA versus Puck battle, I'm fairly certain that TA is actually favored there, because it's really difficult for Puck to actually phase shift the spell damage from the Psyblade hits.
Yeah, I agree. Oh,
There we have
Timbersaw actually picking up.
Oh, I love
That's a pure
Timbersaw.
offer lane.
Yes, I'm really happy with Timbersaw. He could be sent solo safe lane to farm, but I would assume he's sent offlane. And we have a PL.
So they're going a or pretty much late game solo farmer PL, I'd say then.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with this pick. I don't feel like it has really good synergy with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I agree. I see what you mean. Definitely.
Now I can't see which heroes were banned anymore, but I know that IMF banned like a lot of carries. So they were restricted, but I probably wouldn't say that I wanted a PL pick here.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Either way, we could while we will probably see puck mid, Timber offlane. They could switch it up if they want to and send Timbers on mid, puck offlane, because as I said, the TA is really strong against the puck mid, but I don't think that's what we'll see.
No, I think so too. I think you're correct.
All right, then why don't you introduce the players to start with? I can start with IMF. In the middle we have the puck being played by Munchy Biscuit. On Timbersaw we have Keve Falcon. Sand King being played by Man of Men. The Waffle King taking up Rubik, and last but not least, Pooly Wooly on the Life Dealer.
Yes, and on the Dire team we have Burge playing the Temporal Assassin, Rizu playing the Lich, Spoon playing Enigma, Woob playing the Phantom Lancer, and Games for May playing the Bane. And we're actually
Indeed.
seeing somewhat. Are they gonna try a Roshan or First Blood here? We see that the entire Dire team is
I
actually
highly
rotating
doubt
to the bot lane
their
here.
lineup is not very strong for Roshan, but they are indeed trying to get a first blood. However, the Radiant team not going into the jungles, they're playing really safe, and it seems like nothing will happen unless CAD go really aggressive.
Yeah, most likely. We're not seeing any wards right now on the bot lane actually, so we don't have a reason for the Radiant team to move up towards the ward spot. So yes, we do see that CUD is now rotating back to their original thought out positions. And we're gonna see a TA rotating into the middle, I guess, and Bane PL hanging out on the top lane, with Enigma still hanging around the bot, and Lich going, as you said, to the off lane.
Yeah, and we see the Lich putting up the counter ward. However, we did also see the Lifesteal doing something I really like. He used his Quelling Blade to cut open right here. How do I draw? Right there. He cut open a tree so they can double pull through to the back camp. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a very good, since pulling has actually been quite nerfed now with smaller camps being put where the medium camps used to be. I think that's a pretty good strategy to actually make pulling more viable.
Yeah, indeed. And usually, the thing I really like is that the life dealer uses Quelling Blade forward. Usually, we usually see the supports having to use their tangos to eat through.
Yeah, that's a good move, I think. Right out of the gate, I think the most interesting setup will, of course, be the middle lane, which is also contested in the early game.
Yeah.
TA going quickly up to 5-0, actually, so...
Yeah, Puck usually has a really hard time against the TA mids, so we'll see how it goes for him.
Yeah.
Or Munchy Biscuit. That will probably be the lane that has the most action now in the early game, so we'll have to keep a lookout for that. And
right now, the Dire is taking a slight lead in the CS department. PL farming up pretty good on top, denying some creeps for that Timbersaw. They're probably not going to be able to get a kill anytime soon on Timbersaw with this reactive armor being up already. So we're just going to see a bit of back and forth now, I think, most likely.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in Pooly Wooly only having 4 last hits. I mean, he's up against a solo Lich, so he shouldn't really have any troubles last hitting at all.
Yeah.
What I'm more concerned about though is that the Radiant is playing a tri lane here, but they're not pulling, which means that they're the experienced are going 3 ways.
Yeah. I mean, with Sand King and Rubik still hanging out on the lane, not really posing any threat to the Lich, just basically leeching the experience, that's not a good sign, I'd say.
No. And looking at the Sand King's build is a little confusing for me, going for the Caustic Finale instead of the Sandstorm at level 2.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. He doesn't really want to use that, I'd say.
No, he really doesn't want to use it because this pushes the lane quite a bit. So it's a weird choice. He does get his sentries now, so he can de-ward. We'll see if he can actually find the ward, which has been placed inside the trees.
Yeah.
First one
He put it
misses.
too far away, as you can see on my screen right now. I put up the...
Yeah.
He's a bit too far off, but perhaps he'll use the other
He put
one
up the
to...
second one.
Yes,
He should
now
find it.
he's...
He's in reach of it, but he has to actually go inside the trees to look.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if he can figure it out.
And they're going on the timber saw, but they gave up fast.
Yeah, timber saw with the reactive armor, he just regens up that health pretty quickly. So they can do a bit of damage to him, but they can't really get in a substantial damage out until later.
Yeah, and looking at the mid lane, Birch actually has a haste rune, so this is looking even worse for the puck, as he's already down quite a bit in last hits.
Yeah. And there we see that the Templar actually manages to dodge the damage from a illusory orb. And here we go, the Birch is actually running in with a haste rune against that puck, and he's gonna do a bit of a rasp, but he decides, no, I'm not gonna duck in under the tower, and he backs off and runs top to get the illusion rune. Meanwhile, on the top lane, though, we have a pretty interesting fight here. We get a Nightmare into a Brain Sap and Malefice, and finally finished off with a Spirit Lance. So, first blood going the way of Cud and the Phantomizer, actually.
Yeah, the Enigmas, the Eidolons from the Enigma just hurts so incredibly much. Yeah. Even though he has reactive armor, it's still only rank 1, and that's really not enough for such high DPS. And the PL actually goes for a Midas.
Oh yeah, as we've noticed a lot, I think in the new meta, so to speak, Midas is being picked off way more often now, even by support. So not that uncommon actually to pick up a Midas, especially if you can get it early. It's a boost in the farm, which is good for PL since he needs a lot of items to make any real difference in the game.
Yeah, and looking back at the bot lane, we see the thing I was talking about before, that they are really level starved down here. Lifesteal level 3 against the PL, who's level 5. And the Lich is not having any troubles. He's almost level 7. He just keeps sacrificing everything, all the creeps he can.
Yeah. I agree. They're really level starved, and they're gonna have a lot of trouble like killing the Lich. Basically, he gets some farm under the tower since they're actually pushing with the Caustic Finale and the Life Stealer. So he's having a good time there, I'd say, the Lich.
Yeah, he's having a really good time. He knows, you can see he's pretty experienced just by seeing how he stays back at the tower. He doesn't go out very far unless he actually needs to. So he just stays back and sacrifices whenever he can. And by that, he's not really in any danger of dying.
Yeah. We also see that the Dire has taken a commanding lead over the CS, with Phantom Lancer having 33 last hits and 11 denies, and the TA doing a great job in the middle with 25 last hits and 14 denies, 15 now even. So I think the Dire is coming out a bit on top now in the early game at least.
Yeah, it's a bit strange that Puliwuli has as little last hits as he does. He should have quite a bit more, since he only... I know the Lich does deny, but not this much. He should have at least a couple more last hits.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Rubik would probably have had to play a bit more offensively and try to harass him a bit, but it's tough. I think with only one range support on the bottom lane, I think it's pretty easy for Lich to just pop his Frost Blast, keep his distance, and take the few last hits he can get.
Yeah, we do see the Sand King rotating to the top lane here. Just got his boots, so we'll see if they actually might be able to get something done here. I don't think they will, but they might be able to snipe the Bane if he's not careful.
Yeah. Sand King only level 3 though, and still doesn't have his Sandstorm yet, so if he goes in balls to the wall, definitely.
Yeah, indeed. And looking at the Caustic Finale, he pushes the lane and he steals from the Timbersaw, and the Timbersaw doesn't even have arcing boots yet.
Yeah. And we've also seen that Rubik has rotated to the middle lane now, leaving Lifestealer alone on the bottom lane to perhaps catch up in levels a bit. And I do think Lifestealer is also going for a Midas. He has almost
Yeah.
1300 gold and a pair of Gloves of Haste. So I think we're going to see a Midas from both the carries. And
Yes, we will indeed see a Midas from the left. Looking at the lane now, however, the Lich has maxed the sacrifice, which means that he can spam Frost Blast as much as he wants.
yeah.
And Fully Wooly will have a really hard time now that both his supports are gone.
Yeah, with no supports, he can't really contest the Lich. He's gonna just take damage now, as we see. Yep, there comes a Frostbite out. Oh, and we're missing a kill in the middle lane. Templar Assassin picking up a haste rune, going in on Rubik and finishing him off easily. We all know that Rubik, with no items, no boots, has very little health. So good job there from the Templar Assassin in picking him off. Templar
Yeah, I
Assassin
did.
actually has. Yeah, go ahead.
I did catch the end of that, and it was actually a lot of confusion. The Enigma was there as well as the Puck, Sand King, and Rubik, and everyone was just running around. And then the Templar Assassin said, "Well, fuck this! I'm just gonna kill him," and
Yeah.
he did.
On the
And
bot
now
lane, we
a kill
actually
bot
saw.
lane,
Yeah,
a
I
solo
got it on
kill
the
from the
stream. No, we
yeah.
actually saw that Enigma went in. He popped his
Enigma.
Malefice and decides, fuck it, it's black hole time, and he got him
Oh, he
together with
did
the
black
Lich.
hole. All right, that explains it. That's too bad for Pooley Wooler because he's not having a good game. He did finish his Midas though.
Yeah, I mean that takes him back a bit. I think, yeah, he's down in the gold per minute. The Phantom Lancer is way ahead.
Yeah, the Phantom Master has almost complete free farm, which is not very usual actually against a Timbersaw because Timbersaw. Oh, actually a Baneult on the Timbersaw. They're going in, and yeah, he's coming. Will he survive?
Or is he gonna survive? We're gonna see. Are we gonna see a Spirit
He's
Lance?
actually gonna
No!
survive. He didn't
That was
chase.
very close call. I actually thought we would see Phantom Lancer chasing in. He only needed about one Spirit Lance, I think, to finish him off.
Yeah,
But he
yeah,
decides, no,
indeed.
I'm gonna back
One
off.
Spirit Lance would have been enough, but he had no creepway with him, and the tower would most likely have killed him. So I would say it was a good choice to back off.
Yeah,
Uh, this is Timbersaw just being really tanky with reactive armor, even at level 1.
yeah. We also see in the middle lane that the Puck picked up a illusion rune, no, invisibility rune, sorry, but not entirely free. The Lanaya actually managed to get some damage out, so Puck has to be a
Yeah,
bit careful with only about half health and about half mana. And there he actually picks up a couple of bottle charges instead of staying invisibility.
yeah. He wouldn't have been able to do anything with that rune pretty much. Looking at the lanes, he could not gank top because the Timbersaw is really low and almost has no mana. And he couldn't gank bot because the Lich just stays at the tower, so it was a good call from him, I'd say.
Yeah. We do see that the Lifestealer is now rotating in to the jungle instead of trying to stay on the lane. Do you think that's a good call?
Well, I think that he should really going into the jungle sometimes is a good call. Looking at the lanes really pushed out at the tower, so he won't be able to get anything from there. So as long as he returns to the lane after this, I'm fine with going into the jungle.
Yeah.
However, if he stays in the jungle and gives the Lich a completely free lane, that's really not a good call. I'd say he needs though he has realized that he cannot stay in the lane by himself. He needs help, and we have a disconnecting from the Lich.
Lich disconnecting,
And from the PL.
as I was gonna say, Lich actually has 1500 gold right now, so that's pretty interesting. We'll see if he can do something with that. Perhaps pick up. I would say that a mechanism would be really nice for Lich right now.
Yeah, I think the Lich should definitely do it. Normally in these games we see Enigma do it, but since Lich is offlane and has really good farm, I would suggest going for the with Lich and Enigma focusing on either a Blink Tiger or a BKB.
Yeah, I agree with that. We do see also on the top lane to be prepared once the game starts. Bane has popped his ultimate on Sand King, so Sand King level 5, it's very low right now, and we'll see if Phantom Lancer can actually go there and finish him up with a Spirit Lance.
Yeah, it's actually a really unfortunate disconnect. Looking at the Phantom Lancer, he's actually running back because he DC'd.
Yeah.
So he lost a bit of time on that, but they should be able to get the Sand King down. He has gotten the Sandstone, but I think they should be able to get him down during the duration of the Fiend's Grip.
Yeah, there's still a full 5 seconds going out on the Fiend's Grip. With
Yeah.
that's a lot of damage for the Sand King, even though it's around 400 damage with the 25% base resistance, and that's a lot of damage. Sand King will only have around 100 HP left unless the ultimate gets interrupted.
Yeah, Timbersaw is back there, but he has very little mana, so he pretty much can't do anything here. Throw out a chakram, but not much more.
Yeah, stand and watch.
Yeah. Looking at Enigma, I'm not really. We'll see what the courier has. It has an ogre club. I think it's for the Enigma, which shows a BKB first.
Yeah, I think you're
Which
correct.
was that is what we talked about before. He needs the BKB to be able to channel his ult, because otherwise it will be interrupted pretty much instantly.
Yeah, I think he realizes this.
Yeah. I'm not really sure about it though, going for it absolutely first. He could have gone for a blink. But
I think so too. That might have been okay now in the early game.
Yeah, it's hard to say though. There haven't been any team fights so far, so we can't really talk about how the team acts in team fights.
No, exactly. And here
How
we go on the top
coordinated
lane
they
now.
are and such.
You see the Sand King just being drained of his health, and that ultimate. No, he's actually gonna be able to escape, but he tries to run away, and comes a brain sab out. Yes, a brain sab comes out.
He does.
I think
That's
he
too
just
bad.
should have stayed in the sandstorm there, unfortunately. But a good
Yes.
job there from the Dire team. And good job from Sand King as well. Quick reactions with that Burrow strike after the ultimate ended.
And we have a blink dagger from the TA.
Oh, she's
Blink
going a real
dagger
Yankee
before 15 minutes. That
with the
hurts.
bottle and face boots, nonetheless.
Yeah, that's extremely
think
painful. Look at
Lich
Cooley
is
Wooly.
in-
He is going down.
Yes, I think so too. Lifestealer is in big trouble. He can't even get through that
The
refraction.
Lich might go down as well, but the TA, she has haste. There's no way she's going
Yes.
down. And the
Now,
Enigma comes as well.
Puck
So
instead, and here comes the ulti from
opportunity
Lich,
for-
and it's gonna
Puck-
bounce.
Puck is down. Rubik will go down as well.
Yes, very good job
So,
from
Triple kill.
the Dire team, who's dominating this right now. I actually took a quick look on the graphs earlier, and we see now that the XP has passed the 10,000 mark, and the gold is up to over 7.5k. So
Yeah,
it's,
that was a great TP in from Enigma, stopping what could have been a Lich kill, forcing
definitely.
him to back off, and then the TA with the haste just made it impossible for him to run away.
And the
Now,
TA
Sand
is
King-
just so strong right now. And here comes the
He
black hole
actually
out from the
backballs the
Enigma.
Sand King.
And Sand King has no mana, and that's a kill for TA, who is now 5-0, 13 minutes into the game. Puck, however,
That's-
rotating in. Perhaps he's gonna be able to get that Enigma. We also see
Together
the
with Timbersaw, they
Timbersaw.
should be able to get a kill. Indeed,
Yes.
they get the Enigma down, but they have to back off because they cannot do much. But back to what I was trying to do before all this fight started. Looking at the net worth, the top 4 positions are all from the Dire.
Yeah,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
that's
And that's
really...
not a good sign.
No, I agree. Lifestealer still only having his Midas and a pair of Blades of Attack. So he doesn't
Yeah.
even have boots. He has about 0 mobility, and he can't really put out any damage.
No, exactly.
Right now, he's walking around
It's a bit
with Midas
strange
on
to
cooldown.
me that he picked up the Blades of Attack before his boots, and he's not using his Midas.
Yeah,
Which is a
that's
big mistake.
pretty weird. I definitely
And
agree
the
with
Sand King uses his Caustic Finale as well, which ruined it. But it seems that they're going to push all 5 as gathered in the bot lane.
you. Yeah,
So
Lich will
this
have
is the
to
point
be
where Caustic
careful
Finale
here.
actually does some good, but at rank 1 it really doesn't have much of an
Yeah.
effect.
we do see that TA blinks in, and Lich has picked up a mechanism. So they might actually be able to defend this a bit more. Lich has his ultimate, perhaps he can pop it out, get a kill on someone. But here comes the initiation on Templar Assassin with the telekinesis. He pops refraction. Lich is gonna go down before he can do anything, and TA is gonna go down as well. Great job there by
Yeah.
the Radiant to actually pick them off and get the tower.
Yeah, they were. I'm not sure what they were doing. They were really far forward, but not really attacking or staying safe. They were kind of standing a bit too far forward.
Dire's
Yeah, I agree.
is under
Careless mistake from them, but it shouldn't change the game far too much. Team IMF will probably get both towers, but after that they should back off.
Yeah,
Radiant's middle tower
we're not seeing any teleports in from the Dire team. CUD decides we're just gonna farm up, we can't really contest this, even though we're seeing some low health and some low mana on the IMF team. But no, they're gonna get the tower, and now they're backing off.
Yeah.
Bane was
What was
actually
really
trying to rotate in, but he decided to back off there.
Yeah, he can't do much there. What's really important with those two kills, though, is that both Rubik and Sand King are now level 6. And they both have Arcane Boots.
Yeah, that's a good thing for IMF, definitely. They
Now,
needed that momentum to actually be able to try to get back into the game.
yeah, exactly. And I'd say, while it looks like CUD has a really